Hi, welcome to the Dairy Hour podcast, where rural charm meets personal growth. Join us as we milk every moment for wisdom, self-improvement, and mental wellness. I'm your host, Val Lavigne, a rural dairy farming mom with a passion for filling hearts while never forgetting to fill my own cup. Get ready for insightful conversations, empowering tips, and a splash of fun and laughs, of course. Let's cultivate growth, nourish our minds, and embrace the journey together. This is the Dairy Hour podcast, where every episode is a breath of fresh air and the inspiration you need to be your best self. As a busy mom and dairy farmer, I'm always looking for ways to support my family's health as well as my own, and I absolutely love Wonder Cow Colostrum. It's packed with essential nutrients, great for supporting gut health, boosts immunity, and promotes overall wellness. Whether it's for me, my kids, or anyone looking to stay strong and healthy, Wonder Cow is my go-to daily supplement. I have been taking it for a year now, and it is irreplaceable in my daily routine. If you want to experience the amazing benefits of colostrum too, you can use my special code, DairyGalVal, at checkout for a discount. Give Wonder Cow a try, and you will definitely feel the difference. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Dairy Hour podcast. I'm your host, Val Lavigne, and I am joined today with Natalie Berning. How are you, Natalie?
I'm excellent. Thanks so much, Val.
And it is nice and cold where you are today. We're all free. I think the whole entire country might be freezing right now. And it is what? A balmy
-10.
Perfect. Go out for a nice little jog or something in that weather.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I think we're going to hit around -10 or -15 tonight. So New York doesn't normally get that cold. I'm not looking forward to this. So
yes. You know how to dress for it though, I bet.
That's what heated coats and heated vests are for. Yes. Because what did we ever do before there was heated coats and heated vests?
Yes, exactly. Actually, I think it was Mad Farm Chick posted one time and it said something like her dad taught her it's not cold if you dress for it.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Yes, I heard that last year and I've adopted that. Because I hate the cold. So I'm like,
oh, I hate the cold too.
I have those fleece lined pants that are you're like, I don't know, they're ridiculous on your feeds or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband bought me those and they're the best.
Huh. I'll have to check them out. Yeah. Even though I try to just not be out as much as I possibly can. Put my bibs on and hunker down. Yeah. But here we are. Thankfully, before we know it, winter will be over. So that'll be a good thing. We're here for it. Yeah. So anyways, back to learning a little bit more about you, Natalie. You want to tell us a little bit about you in the here and now?
Yeah, so sure. Well, like you said, Natalie Berning, my husband and I own our family dairy farm, which is 500 cows. We have 5 kiddos. My husband grew up there. So then fast forward really 4 years ago, I started I guess an egg tourism business at our farm. And so we offer kids farm camp in the month of June. We also do farm tours 6 days out of the week. And we do things like VIP events. We took the farm tour and we kind of elevated it. Cows, beers, and cheese curds, cows, wine, and charcuterie. It actually was born because parents were asking if adults could come to farm camp. So that's where we came up with that. And then we also offer cows, kids and curds, and picnic and play, which is the family friendly, all ages appropriate version. So we call it night at the farm and day at the farm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And your creativity with your names.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I just love your creativity with your names. And whereabouts are you guys located?
Yeah, good. So we actually, Galena, Illinois is about 3 hours from Chicago. So lots of people from Chicago like to retreat to Galena for, 7,000 people. And we're about 10 minutes from there. So we're right on the Mississippi River though.
Very nice.
I could throw a rock into Wisconsin. So our farm's in Illinois, but we live basically Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, right there.
Very cool. So and I love the fact that you're we have 500 cows. 5 kids, all the 5s. Like, keep things in a nice multiple of 5. We got this. So, oh dear, that was wonderful. So let's dig back into a little bit more about you yourself. Where did you grow up? What was life like for you growing up?
Yes. Okay, great. So I did not grow up on a farm. I grew up, well, when I met my husband, I told him that I lived in the country. I thought I was a country kid. I lived in a subdivision that was like far away from the town of Dubuque, Iowa, where I grew up, which is just like over the bridge, 10 minutes from here. And so, yeah, I had a big backyard. We drove golf carts. I was a swimmer at a lake, like not my own lake, but like lake's part of like our little neighborhood thing. I thought I had a really great, upbringing, childhood. I of one of 3 kiddos. I knew nothing about agriculture. I didn't have any interest in it at all, honestly, until I met my husband. But yeah, so he told me that I was not a country kid. And we were so far out, nobody ever wanted to come pick you up or anything. So I attributed that to living in the country. And then obviously I met my husband and people said like, oh, a farm is such a great place to raise kids. And in my head, in the back of my head, I'm like, I think I had a pretty good like childhood, like upbringing too. And now fast forward and 5 kids later and living on a farm.
Here you are.
I understand what they're saying because it is the best place to raise kids.
Yes. So going back to your quote unquote rural upbringing, what did your parents do for careers? Like, what kind of interests did you have as a kid?
So yeah, my dad was self-employed, a family business, worked construction for a family business. And then my mom was a full-time nurse. We were just a active family in swimming. So we were swimmers year round. I would say that is like what kept us pretty busy. And then just like parents were social people. Just enjoyed, like I said, the neighborhood we grew up in, hanging out with them. And those were kind of swimming was a really big part of our life growing up.
Okay. Well, that's good then. So if you ever need to swim, you're getting yourself out of it.
Yes. Yes.
I love to be in the water, but I swim like a rock. So here we are. Dear. That's what I always say. I'm like, if I ever find myself in a tricky situation, I'm just going to doggy paddle my way out of it and call it a day. Like, we're good. But don't expect me to save you because I can only save myself.
Yes. Well,
the doggy paddle's so hard.
Yeah.
Oh dear. No one's ever going to want to go swimming with me ever again. It's fine. So.
No. Good. My husband doesn't really technically know how to swim either. I didn't really find that out until pretty much our honeymoon. I taught him how to swim on our honeymoon so that we could go scuba diving.
Oh, wow. That's quite a task. We're going to teach you how to swim. Let's go scuba diving. It's fine. Let's go.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Nothing bad has ever happened.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So growing up and then as you went to graduate high school, what was in your head for what you wanted to, where did you see life taking you?
Got you. Yes. So I went to the University of Iowa, graduated with elementary education. So I thought I would be a teacher. And for a long time I was. Actually, after I graduated from the University of Iowa, I moved to Colorado, Denver area, and got my very first teaching job out there. And then I did actually meet my husband 3 weeks before my current husband, Matt. We met 3 weeks before I moved. So that was interesting. But yeah, so I'm
moving to Colorado, it's fine.
Yes.
So, well, let's chat about navigating that. So you met your husband 3 weeks before you moved quite a ways away.
Yes.
And was it love at first sight or did you just become friends or how did this all work?
Okay.
I'm curious. You got to help me.
Yeah, Val, this is a really fun story. I can't not tell the story. So, okay. So we met the night before his brother got married. I was working at a sports camp here in Dubuque, a Loris All Sports Camp. His brother also worked at the sports camp and he was had been there, worked there for a while. I kind of looked up to him as an older counselor, thought he was a cool dude. So anyways, it's the night before he's getting married, his brother's wedding. And I was out with people from the farm, or not from the farm camp, from the sports camp. See, it all is full circle here. But I was out with people from sports camp. they were finishing their rehearsal dinner the night before the wedding. This is downtown Dubuque at a bar, type of
Common place.
Right. So I walked in and another groomsman who also was a counselor or, worked at this sports camp said, "Hey, Natalie, do you want to go to a wedding tomorrow with the best man?" And I was like, "I like weddings and I know Tim. He's a great guy." And then he pointed Matt, the best man, out. And I was like, "He's pretty cute, So we start talking and he tells me he's a farmer and he asked me, I was like, "Oh, that's fun. I've never dated one of them before." He asked me to go to the wedding and I said, "No, you don't need a date. You're the best man. You will have plenty going on." And he's like, "No, it will just be more fun." So I said, "If you're serious, you can call me in the morning." Because, we had a few beverages and things.
Yep.
So it's like 7 a.m. and he calls me and he wakes me up and asked me to go to the wedding that day. And I said yes. And it was cute because he was like, "I'll be the guy on the altar next to the groom," which I thought was kind of cute and clever that he said that. And then right before we hung up, he also said, "Don't forget to wear your dancing shoes." And so I was like, what is going on? Like, this guy sounds like so much fun, right? So go to the wedding ceremony. And I guess that, was impressive to his family because, I didn't just show up at the reception, right? Go to the wedding ceremony and then don't talk to him there. I figured he's busy and things like that. So go to the reception. I knew plenty of people attending this wedding, so no big deal. He eventually, makes his way over to me because, of course, I was not going to make the first move. I'd already, gotten myself.
I showed up. That's all you get from me.
Yes. And so he comes over and we're chatting and I'm asking him about his toast since he's the best man. And he tells me that his brother taught him how to play the guitar. So in return favor, he has written a song for his toast for his brother. And so then it's like 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, and he's giving the toast. He's strumming on the guitar. He has everybody laughing and then they're crying. And I am like, "What's going on? That's my date. I met him last night." And then it's dancing time and I see him dancing with all of his sisters and he's like this fabulous dancer. I am like, what is going on? So from there, the rest is history. Yeah.
And then you were like, "By the way,
yeah.
Colorado."
Yeah, that didn't come up that night, but maybe the next night or the next time. And basically we hung out, continuously for those 3 weeks or whatever. And yeah, I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I am moving in 3 weeks. I've just accepted my very first teaching job." So then I taught for a whole year in Colorado. It was typical first year teaching, really, really difficult. It was so nice to have him there to talk to about, your day and stuff and whatnot. And then I obviously knew that he would not be moving or anything like that. His mom did make sure to let me know that, as we're
he's going to stay here with the farm. If you come here.
Yeah. I was like, "Yep, got it." So yeah, I moved back and got a teaching job and it didn't take long for us to get engaged and married, right? 9-month engagement short. And I taught for the first 10 years. I taught for 10 years before I decided to stop teaching.
Okay.
And then
but
4 kids.
That is such a cute way of meeting though. And very unique, especially to how people meet these days.
Yes, I never thought I would have a fun story like that. So it's fun. I have to when people ask, I'm like, "Do you have 5 minutes?" I'm sorry.
Have to tell the story. Have to do it.
Yes, I don't know how to not. Yeah, so it was fun.
Yeah, I was basically his blind date to a wedding. It's fine.
Yeah. Weddings are a good first date, I think. You see how they interact with people. You see their dancing skills.
Meet the whole family if it's their family wedding.
Yeah.
Just rip it off like a Band-Aid real quick. Just get it done with.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. So, so you start dating this dairy farmer.
Mhm.
And, what were your thoughts when you started to kind of learn about the farm? You said you had nothing really to do with farming prior.
Yeah.
So like what, you know, how did that go for you?
You know, honestly, I think I just knew that Matt was like a really smart man and a smart farmer. And I also saw that his parents and him, like, they just had a really good relationship. So I knew that everything was like solid,
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's definitely, it was, it was higher being that everything worked out the way is for sure. So yeah, I knew it was a lot of work, but I mean, like I said, he's a smart man. He was progressing the farm, he knew that he didn't want to be the one like milking the cows, because when we were dating, he was, like I was, whipping up dinner, trying to impress, him as when you're dating and all that. And, he's coming in and this really nice dinner. But I mean, I think he knew that that's not like he wanted to be done at 7 p.m. every night. So like all of the he's progressing the farm. So actually shortly after we got married, he had hired his first and full-time employee. And again, that was all by the grace of God too. His dad, was having surgery. It was like freezing cold like this. Is our first employee going to show up tomorrow when it's like blizzard and negative? All of that. So I don't even remember what your question was, Val, but
no, you're good. I just wanted to talk kind of about like how it was adjusting.
Yeah. So I guess
the farm.
I just knew that he was like, he wasn't just like stagnant, right? Like he wasn't like, I'm going to, like he had goals and ambition and like, wanted, and so that was exciting.
Yeah.
And as long as he was, and you could see that he had passion for it and loved it. It really wasn't a huge transition. I mentioned, my dad was in family business. So it's not like I was used to like a Monday through Friday,
Yeah.
What are we going to do all weekend long? I kind of like was used to a dad who like, did,
knew how to get things done.
Yeah, was working on the weekends, that type of stuff too. So
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So then you got married, you were still teaching at this point in time, how did you decide that it was time to make that transition to basically become a part of the farm instead of holding that like off farm job?
Well, I should say, so like when are you?
I'm here.
Oh, okay, good. Because I don't know how to turn that off if somebody's calling me. I can't see you anymore.
You're good.
Fine. Yeah, so he was how did I become involved in the farm and so to be honest, I really so we got married. I mean, it was not long after. We were married for like just about a year and then, expecting our first baby and whatnot and teaching and all of that. So he never was like, hey, get out there and milk cows or hey, get out there and feed calves or anything like that. So I really never saw myself like joining the farm. Like I just, I had my teaching career. But I did, I would definitely say that there was a part of me, like if I didn't teach, I could like, do something, more like, farm camp and, stuff like that. But that was like such a small idea, like such a little like seedling that was so small. So I didn't do much with it because we had 5 kids and they're all pretty close. We had 5 kids in 7 years.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were busy doing that. I was busy doing that plus teaching, except for, obviously when, at baby number 4, it's like, well, we really liked this, like maternity leave things. And we don't know if we're going to have any more kids or not. And like, let's just finally do it. It was scary because the insurance thing, being employed. That's why I probably hung on as long as I did. But yeah, it was a wonderful decision. So yeah, decided to stay home after baby number 4, after probably having taught for 10 years. And then, as the years went on, that little seed became a little bit bigger. And then, now it's like the kids were like so big that they just want to be at the farm and they don't need me to like make sure they're safe at the farm, and like now they're like 3, 4 of them are in school full time, and it's just like my little Rhett, my youngest, so it was like, we could do this farm camp thing, so, and then the kids were into like 4-H, so they have their goats and their pigs and chickens and ducks, and we have all the little farm animals. So we were building this little, we call it Little Kingdom now, but like a little like animal shelter. And I'm like, okay, we could totally do farm camp, So, wrote all the lesson plans, make sure we were going to be able to like keep little kids busy and for so long. And, like how would it really work? Cause like at the same time, I really, wasn't like working with the cattle. So I like obviously needed Matt to help me with that. But for the most part, I mean, I think like all my teaching background really helped lay out the lesson plan and all of that. And we're like, if we're going to do farm camp, we might as well also be, like I mentioned, Galena's so close. We might as well just have, invite people to come from Galena, like visiting too, because we'd always kind of been that farm. Like Matt's parents have 31, I think, total grandkids, and all but 3 live around here. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'd always had lots of kids and stuff around the farm. So again, it just made sense. And we'd always been like the farm that's, like come, like if families in town or friends of family, come check it out, see what a farm looks like. So it felt all really, really natural, like next steps. It wasn't too intimidating or anything to try.
Awesome. I love that it just kind of like happened and you kind of just learned your way into it and used your experience as a teacher to basically, design it and really make it come to fruition as to what it is today. That's a really fascinating story. And I cannot imagine 31 grandkids running around. Oh my gosh. How many brothers and sisters did you say your husband has?
He's one of 7.
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys have 5, it adds up real fast.
Yeah. Like there's one that has 7, 6.
Oh my gosh.
5. Yeah, I think it goes 7, 6, 5, 4, and 2 with 3, or maybe 3 with 3.
That's enough kids anyways. So you definitely got the kid thing figured out. And, was it like an instant success? Is it something that you've had to kind of work on? What are some of the different things that you've done to get the word out to get it to fall into place?
Yeah. The exciting thing is, it was an instant success, which was really like fun. Even from the moment like I started the whole social media thing, I don't know, like we posted something like big news coming or something. I don't know, like this was before I did a lot with like social media, and just like whatever we like did, it like landed right. And I was like, oh my gosh, like people are really interested to hear what our announcement is, And like, there was parts of me that I'm like, when we do it, it's just going to be called farm camp, right? There's nothing like it around and it will just, it's straight to the point. And we just decided we'd do 2 weeks of it. Cause like, obviously you do the 1 week and then like you make the second week better based on what you learned your first time through, which that really was 4 sessions because they come for 2 days. But like, I was like, boom, lesson plans, teaching skills getting used again. Like we really don't have to tweak a whole lot. Like I really like obviously used, my expertise like in the classroom and, managing kids and, all of like safety, all the things to consider really, really well. So it sold out. And then they're all like, I'm coming back next year. I'm coming back. I'm like, okay, that's great. But I have a feeling that some other kids might want to come that didn't come this year. So then we just, and I was like really conscious about the number of kids, the first year, like keeping the ratio to adult really small. So after I saw how it went, we opened up 2 more sessions and we let a few more kids come and, at a time. So we were able to like accommodate them. And for the most part, it's sold out all the time.
It's awesome. Now, like is this like a big extra income thing for the farm? Is it just minimal? Is it just covering your time? Like, if you wanted to send a kid to farm camp, how much?
Sure. So it costs, so I started at $100, which was a steal.
Yeah.
They get like snack, they get a little goodie bag, Undeniably Dairy. Shout out to Undeniably Dairy. They get a free t-shirt, and the interactions, like they are holding chickens, pigs, feeding cats, all the things. So it was $100, and slowly over time I've increased it and then I always like to give a discount to our former campers. This year it's $160. And I think
that's two full days?
9 to 1.
Okay.
9 to 1. So I think that's a very fair price when I look at the things I sign my kids up for in the summer camps, or like my girls do ballet, that type of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the price, works out and whatever. So as far as extra income, obviously it didn't start that way. It just started as a little fun,
yeah,
whatever. But I think, it could be, it could be a little bit of an extra income. And just as you probably know, it's important to diversify the farm and for the next generation, and having Galena so close with the tours, bus tours and things. So yeah, it has definitely a potential to definitely generate an additional income for the farm, for sure.
That's such a fascinating way of getting into it. And, you said you have adult events and you regular farm tours. Are you charging people for farm tours in general? Is that something that you just have a constant sign up for? How does that kind of thing work?
Yes. So actually, yes, we do charge for the tours, and they sign up ahead of time. So I had visited a farm that told me they do tours in Cedar Falls, Iowa, and she told me about the booking platform they use. I'm like, for farm camp and all that, I'm like, I don't want to deal with paper registrations and all of them. So yeah, it's an app that they sign up. No, it's not an app. It's a platform that we use, and that's where they book the farm tours, and that's where they book the camps. And I will say this, you even asking that we charge for it, as farmers, we need to
yes,
we need to value our time and what we can offer, people. So yeah, we started out at $15. Super, super affordable. We now charge, which I still think that this is a steal of a deal, and we get amazing reviews. We charge $30 for an adult, and $25 for a kid. That includes them milking the cow, feeding the calf the bottle, feeding goats by hand. It's a full 90-minute plus. We are taking you all around the farm. You see everything. They see we call it the cow's kitchen, right? And the calf nursery and the milking parlor. And we call it the bed and breakfast, or the all-inclusive resort, the freestyle barn, So, yes, yeah, we charge. Yes.
No, that's good. I'm happy that you're able to do that. That's really good. And I hope that someone that might be listening would be inspired to go ahead and diversify and, not be afraid to charge what they're worth. Because I think that is a very overlooked thing. Pay for experiences. And if you're giving them that experience of being hands-on at a farm, because let's face it, we're so far removed as a society from the farm that, getting those experiences is so valuable to learning where your food comes from. I definitely think it's taking valuable time out of the farmer's day. And let's face it, with the cost of living up, our time is worth more than ever.
Yeah.
To take our time out of our day, especially giving them. And that's the other thing too, though, is you're making sure that they're getting their money's worth. And I think that too is very, very important, because that's how you get return customers. That's how you get the word of mouth out there to get more customers. So 100% think that you're crushing it out there. I love it.
Thanks. Yeah, grandparents bring their grandkids. I think sometimes you're oh, just come see this cute little farm. But then the grandparents end up just jaw dropped, so impressed, because they thought they were coming here for their grandkiddo or something. And then they end up learning a ton. So it's just, yeah, all around, all ages. Yeah, it's definitely, the value is there for sure.
And what does your husband think of this whole farm tour type
Yeah, he thinks it's pretty fun. Some of the things that he will say, like when we get done, well, first of all, he says that like they give him life, right? Like he's busy. He's not always on like the traditional tours. When we do those VIP like days at the farm, nights at the farm, him and I. But like and those days or those nights or those days after people leave, he's like, oh, it's so easy, like so easy. And granted, he's not like setting it all up because he's busy, all day doing his, farm thing. But he's like, it's so easy. All I did was tell my story, told them. And then he says that, oh, they like fuel him, right? Like on a bad day or something. And then he's talking.
Yeah.
They just say the nicest things. And like, as farmers, you don't get that a lot. You don't get the pat on the back. So like we do now. Like these people that come are wonderful. They're so appreciative. They have the nicest things to say. So yeah, like these pats on the back, which is really, really nice. And so yeah,
definitely.
He's always been one. He was totally on board from the get-go.
And I think it takes something that's kind of monotonous for farmers if you're kind of doing the same thing and your head's down and you're just going along and going along. And I think that like you almost get bored, complacent, like however it may be with that job. And when someone comes and sees you doing something and they're like, wow, that's amazing. And then you're just like, this is amazing. Like, I am amazing. Like it is kind of that it like lifts you up and makes you feel really good about the skills that you have, the things that you do, the care that you give to the animals. So I think that that is a really wonderful comparison. And it is nice to have that uplifting and that inspiration from the public.
Yes.
Not to mention, we all know it's great to have positive feedback from the public and have them get positive experiences on a farm to realize what is actually going on, not what, stupid animal rights nonsense is telling people that supposedly goes on the farm. So,
yes.
Awesome. I love it. And, is this something that the kids are really into now that they're starting to get a little bit older? Are they not really into it? Are they too cool to do it?
No, the great question. They're totally into it. They're part of it, sometimes I get the ideas from them because the kids are their ages or, they're always weighing in. And then, they're like official. Like, so my high school daughter, she helped lead one of the groups last year, and then like so I like have them all spaced out. Like my youngest, then his job is to be like every camper that walks in by himself, immediate friend, so they have their little jobs. Celia, she's not into farming as much. So maybe she does the videography and, stuff like that. And my daughter can lead tours now. It's really, speaking in front of an audience has been great, for her real life.
100%.
So they're into it. And that's been part of the fun. I think the people who come, like sometimes that's one of their favorite parts. They'll tell us like, oh, I love seeing your kids. I love talking to your kids. I asked them this, and they can always answer all the questions. And
awesome. I love it. That's a really neat evolution of the business into something that it wasn't before. And it's crazy how when people let farms, kind of evolve into what they're supposed to be, it's cool the different ways that they end up changing, usually for the better, and get these really neat ideas and these really great outreach to the community around you.
Yeah, it's been great. And I tell people all the time, I learn something new every day. Like I didn't grow up on a farm. I tell them, but every day I'm here, you asking a certain question, sometimes I'll learn something new, but like, a farm is such an amazing place to learn.
100%. You always learn new things. And if you aren't learning new things, then you have to get your head out of the sand and pay attention or talk to some people because that also helps you. So I love, that's one of the things that I love about having this podcast is being able to talk to different people in agriculture, whether that be dairy or whether that be a completely different form of agriculture, but just picking up tidbits and bits of knowledge and inspiration and ideas. Like, I definitely think that that's something that the agricultural industry as a whole can do a better, like they're definitely doing a better job than they used to, but I don't think that we're quite to where we should be with that, sharing of ideas and, helping each other out, but just gaining ideas from other people and inspiration, little tidbits like that. So
yes,
I love it.
The plug for Dairy Girl Network then, because
Yeah.
they did a great job of that. And like I attended, and that's how we obviously got connected. And I attended my first conference 2 years ago in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And I like my feed before that was not what it looks like now as far as social media, so I learned a ton from like I met so many people and networking and having them now being connected through social on them, like even that way, like it's great.
100%. Highly recommend getting out there, meeting like-minded people in your industry and, picking up a few things. Be open-minded, meet them, talk to them, do the things. So yes, definitely a recommendation for Dairy Girl Network. I had a blast in Kansas City this past November. So definitely there for it. So at this point in the podcast, I love to just ask some fun rapid fire questions to get to know you a little bit better. So are you a beach or a mountains?
I'm planning a beach vacation right now, so I think probably beach. I'm going on the farm. We're taking our family on the farm cruise.
Oh, very cool. I'm so excited for you. I'm jealous that I can't go. I will be actually in Nashville at a board meeting, so I wasn't able to go no matter what. So I'm very jealous, and I expect to live vicariously through you via social media.
And it sounds like there might be another one next year. So you can let all the wrinkles get ironed out this year, and then go the second year is probably a good thing.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe I'll get to go. Depends on this darn schedule that I've got going here. Awesome. I love it. Coffee or tea? 100% coffee, she says. All the coffee. Your favorite music genre?
So that is a really great question. I am a cycling instructor.
See, there's another thing.
As I did not mention that. I teach cycling classes early, 5 a.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays and 6 a.m. on Fridays. So I like all music genres. Country is like the go-to. That's what I like to go to country concerts with my husband. But like EDM, like electric dance music I really like that too, as far as cycling goes. And yeah, lots of
upbeat and energetic. I love it. Excellent. Let's see. I'll look through my list here, find some fun ones. Your favorite TV show?
That's terrible. That's not a good question for me, Val, because we don't watch TV. We're very bad.
But that's okay. That's not a bad thing.
So the only show that we watch, and like when I say we watch it, like maybe 2 episodes an entire year, which our TV watching would be in the winter, and it hasn't even happened yet. So, but it would be Yellowstone.
Oh, there you go. All right. At least you picked a solid.
Yeah, I'm always wondering though what I'm doing wrong. I'm like, how do you guys when do you do this? We don't have a TV in our bedroom, so I think that's part of the reason why we don't watch a lot of TV.
Yeah, and Yellowstone's not really one of those like kid-friendly shows to watch as a family. So
right.
I love it. Are you a sweet person or a savory person?
I like it all.
Same. I'm an all food person. I feel ya. And your favorite farm memory, like just something that maybe something funny that happened just from you learning to be on the farm, or just like a memory that happened on the farm that's your favorite.
I just like where my brain is going. It's probably once when we finish one of those nights at the farm and our cup just feels so full. People say the nicest things and the shop's all decorated real cute, nice, and then it's just us, and our vet comes a lot these events and kind of plays host with us, answers questions, and we're just hanging out after everyone's gone, having the rest of the charcuterie and having a glass of wine. That is part of it. And then probably the other part would be watching our kiddos get ready for the 4-H fair.
Awesome. And I always love to end my rapid fires with some travel questions because I love hearing where people have been and where they want to go. So, best trip you've ever been?
Just recently, we flew to Arizona as a family and then rented an RV and did the Explore Arizona vacation. Sedona was beautiful. We went up to the Grand Canyon. They've all escaped me now. This was last spring or very early spring, so that was pretty awesome.
That would be beautiful. And your bucket list vacation, if someone just said, here's unlimited funds, where are you going?
Probably Europe. I don't feel like I've been there enough yet or seen enough of Europe. I've only really been to Ireland, and then I went to Amsterdam and Germany this summer for a cousin's wedding, and that just gives you the travel. Like,
Yes.
you've traveled a lot, it sounds like.
I've traveled a little bit. I try to make the most of my traveling opportunities, but I definitely have the Europe bug as well. So I feel you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. And I now have a deeper thought question for you that was left by a previous guest. And your question is, let me think. How do you plan to put agriculture in a better place for the next generation?
Yeah. I think we are working on that. Just like where I feel like our job is, our role is to educate the consumers, educate the public. So continuing to invite people in to show them exactly where, their food comes from and answer their hard questions. And yeah, I think that we definitely need that because people are becoming more and more removed from the farm and not remembering to think when they hear things, about like where the truth, lies and who
your sources,
check their sources, who they should be listening to. Really, they get a little bit caught up in, I don't know, people who claim to be experts that are not at all. Yeah, just continuing to educate consumers.
I love it. And it's perfect for you as a former teacher. And technically, you still are a teacher. So that I don't think that the teacher ever leaves teachers. So yeah, it stuck with you. Not a bad thing, though. And, what is a quote that is something that just drives you to be the best that you can be and just is like a overall motivator for you?
Right. It's pretty simple. I had a feeling you were going to ask this question, and I was like, well, it's the one I always tell Matt when we're like deciding if we can do something or make something happen. And it's just where there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want something that bad, there is a way to figure it out to make it happen.
Definitely. And it definitely makes sense in the way that you created your own place at the farm to come back to and your own, not legacy, but your own specific purpose on the farm. You didn't just come back to tag along, but you went and paved a road to a new opportunity for the farm and for you guys as a family. And that's a really wonderful, inspirational thing as well. So
you should say that.
Course. And if people want to follow along with your activities, where can they find you?
Yeah, Burning Acres Inc. on Instagram is my go-to. Instagram, Facebook as well, but Instagram is where I spend most of my effort and time. Burning Acres Inc. will get you everywhere else you need to go.
And I will be sure to link that in the show notes for everybody. Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. I've had a blast learning about you guys and the really cool things that you're doing with your farm. Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. We will talk to you next week. Hey, Dairy Hour listeners, if you're enjoying the show, leaving a review is the best way to help us grow and reach more people. Plus, I've got a little thank you for you. Snap a screenshot of your review, message it to me at Dairy Gal Val, and I will be sure to send some fun Dairy Hour stickers your way. Thanks for supporting the podcast, and I cannot wait to mail you some swag.